Frontier promised that details about the next new ship to the game would be arriving this week, and true to their word, they've just released an interview between Elite Community Manager Phil and Senior Game Designer Curtis alongside the first in-game footage. And so here is a breakdown of everything we just learned about the Lakon Type-11 Prospector. It's worth noting that this is the first of FDev's new Elite Dangerous targeted and timely info drops that are set to replace the Frontier Unlocked monthly livestream that's been a regular calendar date for the last couple of years. Straight out of the gate then, let's talk functionality. Frontier had stated previously that the Type-11 was a mining vessel, and its rugged Lakon aesthetic really leans into that, but it's not until you drill into the internal specifications, which we'll do in just a second, that you really appreciate exactly what FDev are aiming at here. Right at the start of the conversation, Curtis makes it clear that, unlike certainly the previous generation of ships prior to 2023, the Type-11 is not only FDev's first bespoke dedicated mining vessel, but it's designed to be the best mining vessel, certainly of its size, in the game. As we'd speculated on our first glimpse video, the 4 engine nacelles that the ship sports retract inward to reduce the ship's profile when the landing gear is deployed. The nacelles on the port and starboard of the ship quite noticeably retract inward, and the rearward pods move forward and downward by a smaller margin. What is new with the variable configuration on the ship is that the same profile retraction measures occur when the ship opens its cargo bay and not just when the landing gear is deployed. This means that when manoeuvring through tight spaces in asteroid fields or retrieving chunks from an exploded asteroid etc, the ship will always have a smaller profile. A really neat touch, and the first time we've seen this kind of thoughtful functionality in any ship, let alone a new one. The view from the cockpit is familiar to the Lakon family, but it also adds a further layer of functional design with its placement. The unusual asymmetrically mounted full glass surround sits raised and forward of the main hull and affords the pilot and 2 passengers a full all-round view of the surrounding space and, of course, any potential asteroids to be mined. The hardpoints and optional internals come in unusually high numbers, but just like the Panther Clipper before it, the Type-11 has a function specific twist to its offering. Beneath the ship's typically Lakon utilitarian exterior, there are no less than 8 hardpoints and 12 optional slots. However, 4 of those hardpoints can harbour mining equipment only, and 2 of the 12 internal slots are similarly restricted in nature. Here's how they break down. For regular hardpoints, there's 1 medium and 3 small slots. For mining equipment, there's 1 large, 2 medium slots and 1 small. That large mining slot sits next to the cockpit, and it's capable of housing a brand new mining tool. The tool is energy projectile based, firing like a multi-barreled cannon. In regular use it acts just like a mining laser would, separating out chunks that can be collected up and refined. Being a projectile weapon however, it will also serve as a mining abrasion blaster, meaning you can break off surface deposits with it. In the ship's HUD, when the weapon is deployed, we can see the words Mining Volley R. I'm guessing that R word is probably repeater, but that's unconfirmed as of this video. For the 12 optional internals, there's 2 size 1s, 1 size 2, 1 size 3, 1 size 4, 4 size 5s and 3 size 6s. 2 of those size 5s are use restricted. One can only house an SLF bay and the other can only house drone controllers. A new size 5 mining drone controller is being released alongside the ship. The Type-11 will be the only current ship that can run that size 5 controller. When taken in tandem with the SLF bay, that hardpoint split appears to signal that the ship can defend itself to a small degree, but for the more hardcore or determined attacker, it'll likely make itself a nuisance to an aggressor while making good an escape. For the core internals, the Type-11 sports the following: a size 6 power plant, size 5 thrusters, size 5 FSD, size 3 life support, size 7 power distro, size 3 sensors and a size 5 fuel tank. Alongside powering the whole ship, that power plant and distro combination clearly being paired to run some power hungry mining lasers, as well as the large mining volley weapon for as long as possible. Whilst of course any ship in Elite can be used, technically speaking, for just about anything, this is really the first time that Frontier have signalled so strongly that this is a more dedicated role ship, outside of combat perhaps. Whilst you could haul in a T-11 with a respectable load of just below 300 tonnes, and you could explore in it using that copious cockpit view and small landing profile, you can also go off-road in a Reliant Robin, but I would humbly suggest that it's perhaps not the best use case scenario for it. As such, it's a somewhat different tactic for a game that has often been criticised for making its space hardware use cases too generic, trying too hard on occasions, historically at least, to please every person with every ship and not being bold enough to focus on one very specific role for a ship. There are already a lot of very good medium class mining vessels in the game, so I'm really curious personally to get a better handle on the Type-11 to understand exactly what kind of swift work that new mining hardware can make of a rock and how quickly that new Class 5 drone controller can scoop everything up. And as it happens, we won't have to wait long at all. The Type-11 Prospector will be available in ARX powered early access on September the 23rd, less than 3 weeks from now. If you want to see the full interview between Phil and Curtis, which is absolutely well worth a watch, then you'll find a link to it in the description below. What do you think of the T-11's new mining tool? What are your thoughts on the ship overall now that you've seen more about it, and will you be picking one up in early access? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to the channel so that you see all our videos and community posts, and if you'd like to support our work here at the Burr Pit, you can also join us on Patreon. Links to that and everything else we've talked about in this video you'll find linked below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.